Sean is here from Wisconsin, not only because I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, because I absolutely adore his passion is his purpose. He wants to make people better. CarBiz Done Better is doesn't describe it better than he is. He actually told me once that anyone that wants to work with him, he sends a video of himself. He said, you got to watch that first, and then you tell me if you still want to work with me, right? He is authentic, he's passionate, and he's come a long way. And he lost his clothes. Let's give it up for Sean Welsh.
Appreciate that. You giving that to me?
Yep.
You sure I need this?
Absolutely.
All right. You're saying I need it. All right, camera needs it. That's fine. We're at a baseball game. I'm normally Mr. Sport Coat, but today I'm rocking baseball shirts and hats because I'm a big baseball fan. So,
Just turn on first, turn the clicker. Turn the clicker.
You didn't turn on the clicker?
No, turn the clicker.
Jason, I thought you said this was professional. Now I find out it's not. You can't help everything, right? I understand. That's why I don't have employees. I have just partners. All right, so I am Sean Welsh. Today I want to talk to you guys about, this is kind of funny. This has never really happened to me before, to be in a situation where someone was talking so much about technology, and I'm about to tell you how much I don't think you need technology. This is going to get weird, but he's not wrong, and I'm going to cover all that. We're going to have a lot of fun doing it. I like to go with agendas, so the briefest of introductions. Again, Sean Welsh, this is what year are we at, 19? So this is year 22 of this crazy-ass business. I started as a detailer in 1997. I worked my way up. I've been all the way to the top of the mountain and back down again. And I'll tell you, the view isn't as great from the top of the mountain as people think. So I started CarBiz Done Better with my wife, my business partner and best friend since we were 13. So we've known each other a long time. He's my operations director. They convinced me to jump off a cliff. I wanted to buy stores like some idiot. I was trying to buy 2 more locations, wanted to go retail, have it be Sean's way and no one else's way. Turns out, bad idea. I was approached by a large group in Madison, Wisconsin who asked me to basically be on the outside looking in and create a business to help him understand digital marketing. So in 2013, we launched CarBiz Done Better. Its whole sole purpose in life is to monitor vendors and your automotive spend. I don't sell products outside of that. My whole goal is to make sure dealers have what they are supposed to be getting in return, because you do not have endless piggy banks for bank accounts. Co-op doesn't mean money grows on trees. It means cars have to be sold to get more of it. So that's why we created what we did. I'll tell you, I say this a lot. Technology will not fix a broken process. I'm in Canada, so someone here. I love Canada, right?
Mic down a little bit.
More down?
Yeah.
Which way? Oh, you're trying the middle of the shirt now? Jeez.
What do you like up there?
Is that better? Are we better? No, we have 1 sec. Apologize, guys. I have my technology part here with my clicker, but apparently I'm out on audio. I can just talk louder.
No, it's just where it was positioned.
Oh, okay.
It was a little bit
Well,
awkward.
he should have just handed it to me. Jeez. No clicker, no mic. How are we doing this? All right, doesn't matter. Technology will not fix a broken process. So I just got into Toronto yesterday. My wife and I, it was her birthday yesterday, so I had a big, huge day planned. Yeah. So I was really, really stoked. I was going to take her out for this huge dinner. Oh my God, I was so excited. Guess what? Delta loses my fucking bags. Delta, if you're watching, you suck. Okay? Hashtag Delta sucks, because what it cost me was an entire evening with my wife. It was stress. It was all these other things. Now, here in Canada, you do things a little different with a certain plant we don't do in the U.S., so that saved me, and I'm happy for it. I'm digging it totally. I love Toronto. This whole public acceptance is just awesome. I love you for it. It's the only savior I've had. So I'm walking down the street on my way to an establishment, and I spit, because I spit a lot. It's what I do. And a woman stops, and she goes, "That's disgusting." And we're crossing a major street, and I looked at my wife, I said, "Man, is it that gross?" And she goes, "We're in Canada." I thought, well, what does that mean? She's like, "You're just not appropriate." So we met up with a buddy of mine who lives here. We told him the story, and he goes, "You're disgusting." Okay, all right. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to swear less. I didn't start off well. I use it to punctuate. I use it as an emotion. I don't try to Gary V it. I don't want to just swear on every other line to get your attention, but it will happen, so I'll warn you against it. All right? Utilize the tools you have. To Andrew's point, you all have enough tech currently living in your dealerships. All of you. This is not a technology problem. We have been overwhelmed by tech over the last 20 years plus since I've been here, and I'm going to show you pretty much in a snapshot the last 20 years and why it still don't make a difference, okay? People and process will always make the difference. The best stores in the country don't have the fastest websites. They don't have the most leads. They don't have the best BDCs. They have the best team. It's not just a BDC. It's not just a desk. Again, to Andrew's point, dealerships run in silos. I'm from grain country, man. I'm from Wisconsin, okay? You know what we use silos for? Put stuff in it, compartmentalize it so it doesn't touch other things. Why do we do it at dealerships? We do it because technology has led us this way. There's sales tech, there's fintech, there's service tech. Those tech companies don't talk to each other, right? So you have 3 different techs working. What are we doing? What we're doing is we're over-teching a problem. It has nothing to do with technology. At the end of all this, if you'd like, you could ask me questions. No one ever does. I don't know why that is. I do this a lot. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I won't even guess about it. So I doubt it. Here we go. Now it's probably a thing, right? So that's fine. I have to spit right now talking about it. It's really jacking me up. So a brief history, technology. This is what we're going to cover. Technology, innovation, and its influence on the car business, okay? Because again, Andrew, this is wonderful to have someone before me with such great points. His point about innovation is not wrong. I just don't believe innovation has a thing to do with technology. I don't. And too many people in our industry are always like, ooh, innovation, tech, I'm so scared. That's not what we're talking about. He's talking about having a meeting with your service advisors and your salespeople in the same room. What is wrong with that? And who isn't doing that right now, right? Who amongst you isn't doing that, and why not? What's the reason? I want you to think through that, because that is what innovation means. It ain't about signing up for more technology. And at the end of this brief history I'm about to show you, the last thing I touch on is digital retail. So if you're a big digital retail fan, you may want to leave. I give a heads up at the end, okay? I really do. I also have a takeaway slide. I'm not really video worthy. If you guys want to record anything or take pictures, just wait for the last slide, okay? All right, 20 years ago, we had analog data. Show of hands, who's been in the car business 20 years or more? Okay, Rolodexes, everyone hip? Know what I'm talking about? Awesome, awesome. So we had Rolodexes, we had those gigantic, cool up pages, right? Everyone loved those things where you'd walk in, you'd have to flip it over like this to get everything you needed. Guess what? All the information I needed for that day was still right there, not locked in that dumb thing, okay? Because I can't see what's in there unless I know how to search and filter and do all this. Tell you what I know how to do, I know how to turn pages over. That I know how to do, okay? So what do we do for analog data? Ready for this expense? How about a CRM? Exciting stuff, right? Sean, you got to get rid of your notepad, bro. Not going to work. Need you to log in here to the old computer and put your information in there. Every time? Yep, every time. Then you got to go do the license scan. Then you got to do the paperwork. So this isn't saving me any steps. Oh, no. It's adding steps. Okay, great. But because no one explained its value on the high-end side of what that could really mean, if someone came to me and said, Sean, you know what? This right here, this Rolodex, I'm going to put it in here, and then it's going to do all kinds of work for you. Oh, well, then let's put my Rolodex in here. Let's get to work. But no, it was given to me as yet another step, as something I had to do, something that was told to me, not asked of me. And I'm not asking employers to go to their employees and ask them how they want to do it. I'm not a parent, okay? But one of the most frustrating things for me to watch parents do happened to me today in the elevator. The guy's talking to a 3-year-old kid, and he's asking him, so, are we going to the mall? Are we going to the game? And I'm thinking to myself, what is this? Why are we asking this kid? What's he going to say to us? Yeah, Dad, you know what, Dad, let's go up. Let's go 10 minutes to the right. We'll go over to the shops. Then we'll hit the game. How about that? No, the kid's going to go, yeah. And that's what he said. Yeah. And Dad goes, yeah, what? And I'm like, good God. Ask the kid if he wants to go to the game. Have him say yes or no. Why are we making it difficult? We do it because we think it's an important problem to solve that no one asked us to solve. But because we had technology come into the world, that was about when did I get my first CRM? 98, 99? I want to say right in there where it was just like, wow. They were not good. I didn't say that. I still don't think they're good. I don't think they're intuitive to clients and people. I think they're just, as it was stated on there, they're just management systems. That's the problem with it. There's not enough connection, I don't think, with CRMs, but that is not what we are here for today. 15 years ago, the problem, website leads. Okay? What are we going to do with all of the leads that we have now? Okay? Any of you have been doing this a long time, you may remember getting internet leads faxed to you. I do. So when you had your internet leads faxed to you, you'd come in on Monday morning, a bunch of faxes on the floor, this is exciting, and then you start working your leads in your Rolodex and so on and so forth. And then leads came into CRMs and the whole thing really worked out. But website leads were a problem, so the first expense I showed you was, it depends on who you use, maybe $3,000 to $4,000 a month. Let's just call it 50 grand a year. Ready for a bigger expense? How about these people? How about the BDC? Everyone's like, you know what, forget it. Here's what we're gonna do. Salespeople, you can sit on your asses. Don't worry about it. You don't have to make calls. Don't worry about it. If an up comes through the front door, do me a favor. Just could you greet them, show them a car? That'd be great. What am I supposed to do my follow-up? No, I got 3 guys back here, dial phones. Don't worry about it. Okay, so then we have this expectation. What did we create though, right when we got a BDC?
Lazy salespeople.
Damn right we did. A lazy salesperson culture, okay? So when I got to my first actual store, it was 2004, and I got to the first store that I got to with a BDC, or the conversation of a BDC, and we're all sitting there and the owner goes, wait a second, if I need a BDC, what in the do I have 17 people standing out here for? All of us stood there and said, because they're lazy? And he looked at all of us in leadership, he said, no, because you're lazy. And we're not going to do it. And to this day, they're a store, when I met them, they had 3 stores. Now they have 9, going on 11. They've never used a BDC in their life. They use an entire salesperson process. If I hear the phrase internet sales floor one more time, I'm going to freak out. Okay? It's a sales floor. And yes, every customer previous to getting there has been on said internet. Let's just call it good. Remember we used to have to quote that when you're doing your ups with people? Like, oh, well, 70% of people do their research online. Get over it. It's 100%. I don't want to hear about it anymore. And if they're not, then whatever happens to them, happens to them. Have fun. Sell a car. Okay? So here's BDCs, right? Here's how they roll. And they create expense. They create frustration. They create silos. What have we done? We've created a problem within our dealerships now because salespeople do this. Well, I can't do it because I'm limited by cameras and lights. They just stand behind BDC reps like, we got any good ups today? No? You sure? And it just keeps there. The guy can't do his work because he's got salespeople all day. Got the good ups, the good ups. It's like Glenn, Gary, Glenn Ross all over again. None of that matters, you see? Because if salespeople were engaged, they wouldn't have to have BDCs. And the best ones don't use them. And I mean salespeople. Big deal. Everyone uses a BDC, it feels like anymore. But the best salespeople don't rely, don't use. If anything, they use them as an assistant, which is what they should be. You don't feel like digging in on that nasty, hairy maturity list that's like 4, 5 months old? Give it to the BDC, see if they can find anything. You worry about low-hanging fruit, I guess. But again, to Andrew's point, when people start to think about development, when I was selling cars in Colorado when I moved there with my wife, one of the first things I did was I drove shuttle. People were like, why is this guy driving shuttle? Oh, are you kidding me? I get to hear all the bitching about this dealership. I get to hear and see where these people work, what they like and don't like about their cars, and I wear a normal uniform as a normal service guy. So no one knows me from Adam. I'm just Sean, the driver. It's wonderful intel and knowledge. Sell these people cars twice, maybe 3 times a month. Is that a lot? No. But if I'm selling 20 cars and I can sell 10% more for just driving a shuttle for an hour, yeah, makes sense. So conceptually, I started to really struggle with technology and added expense, which are 2 things that I currently fight as my own being. With that, because early on in my life, I didn't understand how they correlated to the business. But it doesn't mean they don't have value. Baseball nerds in here? Anybody? I mean, we're out of baseball? No? All right. So that's fine. That's fine. You don't want to show your hands or you're not a nerd. Doesn't matter. I am a baseball nerd. I am currently reading a crazy baseball nerd analytics book that is called The MVP Machine. And the MVP Machine is exactly what Andrew was talking about. It's about questioning the norms of current and past player development of baseball. All these guys standing down here, this book believes if they do the right things, they don't care. They can make them great. They can make them MVPs. That's what this book believes. I'm 70 pages in. I already agree. How cool is that? And it's because it correlates to my life. Moneyball is another big baseball book a couple years back. And I was using the idea of Moneyball to relate it to car dealers who are big baseball fans about wasted marketing dollars. But the reality now is, if you really look at dealerships, where we waste is in our process and in our people. Does anyone know what average turnover costs? A dealership? US dollars, sorry. Can't help you with the, I don't know the conversion shit y'all do. I don't know, like, whatever it is. The cost in the United States is like $60,000 a head with training and time expense. So in dealerships, turnovers, is that a problem even here in Canada, or is it just me? No, you have it here too? Yeah, turnover, big problem. And Andrew's point, again, look at this guy. It's just all this free Andrew's point here today. But to his point, it's about looking outside. If you want to find great salespeople, why require them having done so already? Are you not a good trainer? Do you not have a good program to bring the people in? Because if so, then yes, I'll hire the most qualified by existence, but maybe not in skill level. And that's probably more what you should be questioning. The book I'm reading, The MVP Machine, they question everything about baseball, and they're showing people in the history of baseball questioning baseball's approach going back to 1920. That there were certain guys, one guy a year, one guy a decade, that would say, this is stupid, why are we doing this? The guy who bought the Kansas City Royals back in 1925, Mr. Kauffman, he didn't know nothing about baseball. He just saw it as a money-making machine. So when he got there, all he asked was, why do we do this? 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 Baseball's like, dude, own a team and shut up, sit in the corner. No one wants to hear your questions. What do you end up doing? You end up creating an entire player development program and basically supplementing what we know today as minor league baseball. It's innovation, right? What's that to do with technology? It's about thinking outside the box, questioning the norm. I'm all about it. Let's get to year 10. This is a good one, okay? The problem, digital marketing data. How many digital marketers do we have in the room? By hands? Few? Okay, yeah, all right, cool. Good. Well, this is emblem look familiar to you guys? Even here in Canada, right? Same thing. I got to double check all this. You're going to hear me say it all day because I just don't know and I don't want to be wrong, okay? Someone told me about poutine and I was like, so fries with cheese. They're like, oh, no. I'm like, okay, all right. I got it. I understand. That's what it sounds like you just told me. Throw some bacon on top. I'm good. All right. The solution, Google Analytics. I have any dealers in the room who are just like, laughing? I mean, is there anyone here who wants to tell me to get effed? Because I get it. Because this came along 2004-ish, 2005, maybe 6 by that time. I got really engaged in it. I got crazy about it. I wanted to do it because I knew my website was the conduit to future consumer behavior. I knew that I wanted my website to be the best. We used to have websites back before we knew Google hated Flash. We used to have websites like cars and shit driving on them and like blowing up, and everyone was like, my owner come in, he goes, Sean, I really love the snowfall you did for winter. I'm like, oh, thank you, boss. I'm really proud of myself. Turns out that site didn't do shit because Google didn't like it. Okay? So when I had to come to him and say, hey, boss, bad news, got to get rid of the snow, he stomped his foot. No, we're not getting rid of the snow. Boss, we need more leads, got to get rid of the snow. Google doesn't like the snow. My boss's reply is, he doesn't like Google. Fine, but the point is, I can't redo what Google started, okay? They did it, it's over, they own it, let's just all accept it and try to move forward within their program. Google Analytics has been accepted by about 90% of the industry as a middleman, at least someone who is unbiased, right? So we run our platform, well, we run our whole platform off Google because most of it's free. I'm not an expense guy at all, or hiring guy. See, I'm going back to my own deck here. I don't do either very well. The solution, Google Analytics, is a solution, but God, you've got to know where to look, okay? I've been doing this with analytics over a decade. I always tell people, don't go in by yourself. Have a Sherpa. Because if you don't, you can get lost fast, real fast. The beautiful thing about data, people say, Sean, why do you look at the same reports every month? Don't you get bored? No. Why? Because the second something's broken, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. But there's so many other things. You can go into conversion, behavior, blah, blah, blah. Great. Do you have a question about any of those? Well, no. Then why am I going to go there? Well, it's there. You should use it. Wrong. Just because you have a mound of data doesn't mean you have to go piling through it unless you have a reason. Give me a reason to go in it. I'll find you every silly, dumbass thing you want to know. But don't just tell me to go look because I can look. It's a waste of everyone's time. Look at your reports. Know what you're looking for. I love when dealers call me, Sean, looks like the Google clicks were up last month. The Google, yeah. Because you got the snapshot report. Cool. Yeah. Yep. That green arrow, that specifies clicks are up. Problem is you signed up for a generic bad email that gave us a bunch of terrible traffic that didn't do shit. But yeah, the green arrow's up. So woo! I'm super proud of you and your bad decision making. Call me next time. That's why I'm here. Okay. Speaking of this, do we have any big attribution fans in the room? Oh, that was weird. Must be how I positioned the question. Well, good. That doesn't matter because I don't like attribution. I'm going to show you why. Digital marketing overload, credit for sale. Do you guys talk about that up here? What vendor sold me the car? Who sold me the car? Who sold me the car? Anyone know what this is? From Google, right? Here's what they talk about. 24 average touch points, 19 are digital. For those of you in the car business, do you do half deals? 2 salesmen split a deal? Do you do half deals? Yes? Yes? Are you in the business of 1/24th deals? No? Well, what happened? I thought we were splitting deals. This is what makes attribution a complete waste of everyone's time. Have a marketing program that's well-rounded. Understand what you're trying to identify and who you want to your website or in a part of your plan. Stop trying to tie things to the sales of cars. Do you know why I say that? Anyone have any idea why I'm so passionate about this? Because marketers don't sell cars. Salespeople sell cars. If you want to know attribution, look at your salespeople and your sales managers and your process. Stop talking to marketers about how many cars they sold you. Marketers can bring them all the way here. You have to get them over the line, and if you cannot, stop blaming your marketing. Most of you don't have a marketing problem. Sorry. Those of you on the live stream in the US, you know what I'm talking about. You heard me say it to you a bunch of times. None of you have a lead problem over there. You all have a process problem. There we are. So how do we fix it? We have attribution, dude. Look at TrueCar. Do you guys have that here? Is that a thing here? TrueCar? No? No, it's not. Okay, so down in the States, TrueCar is a place that a long time ago they decided we're going to charge a dealer per sold unit in their DMS. Every time we log a car that's sold by you, you're going to pay us $500. Sounds expensive. They were smart at the time. NADA was saying that the new car acquisition cost was $600. So they came to us and they were like, we'll guarantee you $500. Okay, that sounds great. More leads, great. Turns out it was a terrible plan for all of us because we would get that lead from somewhere else, but it didn't matter. They hit our DMS. TrueCar's like, that's our name, man. We gave you that. No. Here's a screenshot of my CRM. I've got this like 14 times. That's the last place he went or the middle place. That's cool. We like to hear that. Great. That's $4.99. So that's cool or fine, whatever. You owe us the money. Okay, fine. So I become an attribution anarchist because I have yet to find someone who can really convince me. And I sit with some of the best tech companies in this industry. And they sit there with their dashboards all tying together, showing me the click watch and watch this, Sean, you can do this. Most of that's available in GA if you really gave a shit. I mean, really, most of it is if you really want to tie it together. To Andrew's point, dealership's going to hire developers. Andrew, I love the idea. It's just not, from an expense standpoint, it's never going to happen. Because we can't even think about hiring someone to make sure that our BDCs are run correctly. We just take someone who did it for a year and they're the BDC manager. So you're not wrong. We need to do this. We need to tie it in. I work with a big Honda dealer out in Northern California, one of the biggest. And he's got an internal team of just dudes that are just all tech dudes. And they just, you know why? He lives in what I refer to as millennial tech hell, okay? He is 8 minutes from Google in Palo Alto, California. He's also going to come up here down the road when I get into digital retail because, as I mentioned, he's in millennial tech hell, and I think it'd behoove you to hear what really goes on with him as it relates to that process. Wouldn't you know it? Man, I've done this before. The problem, continued increase in consumer online retail. Now, check the word out. It's an increase in their behavior. So the second technology companies realize there is some sort of behavior in the car business that is yet to be addressed, dude, those people come swooping in like the craziest eagle trying to get a bird. I mean, these people come in, they're like, God, we fixed it. How'd we fix it? With digital retail. This is how we're going to do it. Everyone wants to buy a car online. Look at Amazon. That's all I ever hear. Look at Amazon. Look at Amazon. I buy like $19 things on Amazon. What are we talking about here? Okay? Oh, Sean, in the States we have Carvana. All online. You can sell your car to them. You can buy your car to them. That's it, though. They can't buy new cars, sell new cars. Can't do that. Guess what else they can't do? Service, deliveries, have a clue what they're talking about when they deliver a car to a customer. Congratulations. Guess what dealerships have? Everything Carvana has and more. So why are we so worried about buying a car online? Because we think our consumers have asked for it. And if you really look, again, in the US, I don't have Canadian data on this, but if you look in the US, most of the survey results you hear from people are about time and ease of access. Not one time do you read someone say, I would like to do that for my underwear. No, they don't say that. You know why? Because they really don't care. They really don't. They want what they want. They don't want to waste a ton of time doing it. And if you can present them as the solution to that, you're probably bound to do more business than you'd think. So digital retail, the cost of digital retail comes at a few for me. Communication with clients. How many of you are comfortable giving a customer a quote over the phone for his trade and his new car without meeting him? Guys, where are the hands at? No hands. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So you mean to tell me that technology is going to convince me and you that you're going to let this dude pencil his deal by himself without you involved? I don't think so. So there's one cost. How about the inspection of process? How do I know what's going on internally? The second a customer enters into a digital retail portal, they're in that portal. In most cases, they're off your primary URL into their own container. So now what? Do I get to see what goes on there? Oh yeah, you get reports of where the fallout is. What does that do for me? What does a fallout report do for me 3 days later? Why can't I be active watching it happen? Well, the technology's not set up for that. Why though? Not. Why can't I watch it? Why can't I sit there and be a total creep online and watch you go through buying your car? Because the second you stop at finance, I like to pop up a chat box that says, hey, we stuck here? We have a question? Do we not like what's going on? Did you want to come to the dealership anyways? Right? So that's what we're having. We have overhead expense. These programs are expensive in the States. These people start talking about digital retail. They want to put e-commerce things on your website. Those are expensive and unnecessary. I'm going to show you. You already have all the tools you need to execute digital retail. You just got to put them together. It's going to be fun. Accountability. Deal falls apart. Whose fault is it? Is it yours? I don't know. Were you a part of the deal? No. Okay. Is it the company's? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's blame. Digital retail company. You lost me 3 car deals. Are you going to fire them? Well, I need digital retail. Well, then what are we talking about? Really? Redundancy. I'll show you redundancy in a second. These are the more fun ones. CSI. Why does it affect CSI? Because if anything goes wrong in that process, the customer bolts. And if you do it online, you buy a car, right? And the customer's all excited. He shows up to the dealership, and guess what? You're ready to start the process over again because you're not exactly stoked about the gross or the trade unit or whatever it is. So you start rehashing the deal with him. Guess what happens to CSI? He probably buys the car. Boom. You get crushed because what happened online didn't get delivered in the store. That's what I need you to think about. Shiny objects. I think I'm missing an N on that maybe. Shinny. Doesn't matter. The point there, look, hey, I don't write these things, okay? He's watching on the live stream. That's on you, bud. That is not me at all. Shiny objects, though, serious problem. This ain't my screen, but I'm all about that. Like, I would just totally, they can have an N here for the rest of their lives. So shiny objects, big problem in our industry, right? We're always in it. We're always looking for the next piece of tech that will make me not have to engage my job. Maybe we'll fix everything from afar, and now it's all going to be fine. You can't just expect these tools to work. Technology needs humans to run it. That is how it's run. That is why it's run well. Gross, I don't need to tell you guys what happens if you try to, you guys won't even give quotes over the phone. There's no way you're going to get them online. So, and this happens all the time. This is not odd. This is all part of why I ask these questions. Time and effort. Training, and most of all, the biggest problem in any dealership to do anything ever, buy-in. Because if it does not start at the very, very top of the mountain and come all the way down as not an ask but an order that, hey guys, this is the job, this is how we do the job together, we're going to get better, sell more cars, then it will ultimately fail no matter what the technology is, digital retail or otherwise. Okay? So let's talk about the tools we have on your dealership websites here in Canada. Do you have credit applications? Yes. Do you have ability to text? Yes. Okay, we're getting places. Do you have a trade evaluator? Yes. Does anyone have any idea what the 3 main things in a digital retail tool are? Good news is I just named them for you. Isn't that fun? I just saved you guys like $2,000. You're welcome. Because it's a bunch of bullshit. You have everything you need right now today to succeed at the idea of digital retail. But before we sell cars online, we're going to have to give quotes on the phone or over text where people are comfortable communicating with us. And if we're not okay with that, then okay, I get it. But if your consumers are okay with it and you're wondering why you're getting pump in, pump out results that look the way they do with other people, it's because other people are probably willing to have conversations that make you uncomfortable. I get it. Trust me, I have uncomfortable conversations like that's my life. I get it. But it doesn't mean you can't have them. Doesn't mean you shouldn't have them. You've got to have them. You have to get uncomfortable so you can actually get through things and see what's going on in your dealership. And I learned that firsthand when I was running stores, and I thought, I ran it, like Andrew said, I was a salesman, man. Like, what is so hard you guys don't get about just writing the VIN down the right way on the Foursquare and coming over here until I was like, why am I having these people write shit? Why don't we have iPads? What are we doing? Why are we making this more difficult on people? I'm complaining about the guy's writing penmanship when he could type it in a computer. All right, now we've got everything put in the computer. Great, it looks clean. But why are we delivering it the way we're delivering it? Why are we having a Foursquare? I dominate Foursquares, dude. I'll write it up right now. I'll sell you whatever we're trying to sell you. I love a good Foursquare. Problem is, customers don't. You know why? Customer doesn't know what that means. Foursquare, you sit down there like, what is this? You're like, oh, well, this is your trade. Let's start here. Start with your current payment. Let's come down here to the value. Let's come down here to my sale price. Down here, press hard, 2 copies. Let's get started. What the just happened, man? I just was standing here. You're like, yeah, no, we're Foursquare. We're in, right? You're good? Yeah? No? Yeah? No? Okay. What should we do? Oh, do you guys do this here? Where a customer's in your showroom and you need a deposit to bring it up to the desk to get the number your customer wants? Is that a thing here? Yeah. Right? So it was a huge thing when I started in 1998 in Chicago, like seriously huge. So I'm sitting there at a desk, I'm working a deal. Customer goes, yeah, so I'm good. I'm like, cool. I just need a deposit. I'll bring it up front. We'll get this deal done. Deposit. I don't trust you with that. I'm like, okay, bro, no problem. I can't go get it. He's got to know that you're real. You know what the guy offers me next? His 8-year-old. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, take the 8-year-old. All right, bro, let's go. Walk him up to the desk. I'm like, boss, a new detailer? I don't know what we're going to do with this kid, but he's ours if we don't make the deal, so this is great. Why did I do it? Because it's what my customer asked me to do. When I first moved to Colorado, I got the nickname Chicago Sean real fast because that's where I'm from. That's the car business I grew up in. It's not easy to grow up in a car business that way. You got to be rough cut, and I wasn't that way when I got there. I got that way over time. But when we were there, guys outside in Colorado, where dealership overlooks the mountains. The guy's super relaxed. He's in his Birkenstocks and his shorts. And he says to me, yeah, so I'm not going inside. Like, I don't understand what that means. He's like, if we're making a car deal, we're making it out here. I'm like, dude, give me 5 minutes. Go back inside, big ass table outside the front door. Roll it, sit it down. I'm like, did you want a chair? Or are we going to stand over this?
Real life suckers.
Dude, the guy's head blew up. He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, you just said you weren't coming inside. I didn't waste an hour and a half showing you this car to not make a car deal. So let's go. Oh, well, oh, okay. So you weren't that committed to the car deal. I rolled a chair out here and everything for you. You don't even care. It's commitment to buy. It's commitment to do business. Why did I do it? Because it's what my customer asked me to do. These tools, if your customers want to engage with you that way, do it. If some of you are saying, man, I'm seeing a huge spike in text, stop texting them to call you. They wanted to call you, guess what? They'd already done that. They have a phone. They've been texting you. I don't like it. I'm a phone guy, okay? I just started texting like 3 years ago, maybe. I mean, I hate it. I think it's dumb. You got something to say, call me. You want to be a tough guy? Call me. Let's talk about it. Don't text me a tough guy email or a tough guy text. Let's talk about it. Guy to guy, girl to guy. I don't care. Say it. Don't hide. That's not running a business. That's just talking amongst people, right? But if my consumers said to me if I was still running dealerships and everybody was into text, you bet your ass all my dealership reps would be doing is texting people. What's the silly percentage I heard? Like 90% of texts are open, 12% of emails, or whatever it is. But here we are. People come to me, Sean, do you have a dynamic, engaging template I can send by email? It's called, yeah, dude, here, watch this. So text it to them. Well, but what about the grammar and the incorrect? That's texting, bro. Just go text them. They don't care. It makes you a human being. Do you guys ever realize when you're texting with a robot and when you're not? Yes. Right? Look at all of you. Yes, of course we do. Because it's fucking annoying, dude. Text with a robot. Sounds like a young questioning millennial. Like, but why? But why? It's like, dude, service help, you know, and you move on. But for me, I like to get engaged with tools that move things forward. And I think that the tools you have aren't just, look, I put email on here as a joke. Sorry, maybe it wasn't as funny. It should be replaced, though, honestly, with video, right? We have video folks in the room, right? Video engagement folks, yeah? Awesome. Just kind of like texting. I got into like LinkedIn and video about 18 months ago, 2 years ago. People say to me all the time, Sean, how do you get the following? I have no idea, dude. I just hit accept like 9 times out of 10. Because I hate social media. I do. I'm sorry, I know, it's weird. If I didn't like you in high school, chances are highly likely I don't like you now. So I'm good. And I don't have family, I need to communicate with kids and all these other things. So again, not on social media, but I use it for work. Apparently LinkedIn's for old people. I don't know, that's what I get told by younger kids. I have a nephew who thinks that I have 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel, which I don't know what that means. I really don't care. He's offended by it at the age of 9. He's like, 100, who cares? I'm like, well, obviously not you, friend, so that's great. But it's about engagement. So when I use video, I started to quickly realize that people were going to either buy into this current, what you're seeing, or opt out of what you're seeing. So we started a podcast. It's called 5 Minutes with Sean, Maybe 10. I started it. We just did our 105th episode. Yeah. We did our 105th episode. And the reason we did it was, A, because I needed some therapy, just truly. I have so much pent-up crazy shit in my head, I wanted to get it out. But more importantly, the reason we did it is we use it as a dossier for incoming clients. And all we say is, here's the first 2 videos. If this dialect and talk and approach interests you, call us. 9 times out of 10, this is going to catch you by surprise. They do not call us. But that's fine, because I'm only looking for the 1 out of 10. That's who I am. That's how I run my business. I run my business very niche. 9 out of 10 don't like me. That's a win for me, because I don't have to waste 9 conversations of an hour apiece telling some guy what I'm doing or how I do it. It's all out there for you to see. You either like it or you don't. It's okay. I got no problem with it. People argue with me all the time. Sean, that's not right. Great, man. High five. That's how you feel. This is how I feel. I'm going to change your mind. No, that's not how this works. Not for me personally. I'm rough to change minds on, okay? I'm a car guy at heart in some data nerd's body. That's how this happened. Otherwise, I'd be running car dealerships like I was raised to run car dealerships, which probably doesn't fit today. But maybe I would have adapted over time. Now I feel like if I went back, because I've been exposed to so much of it, I certainly would. I would certainly, that's why I go on these tours. Jason, for all of you who haven't been to other events, what makes Jason's event really kick ass is that he called me and invited me to do this. In the States, if you guys ever heard of Digital Dealer, all these other conferences, they want me to go through this application process, kick in a door, do this, do that. Talk about technology loss. Why don't you people go look at my social circle? Why don't you go look at previous presentations I have online and decide if you want me at your conference? I'm not jumping through hoops for you people. I'm here to help educate. Well, don't you want to sell at these? No. Aren't you worried about making deals? No, I don't care about deals. We are a small company that is running perfectly as is. I'm here to help educate because I love the damn business. Well, Sean, if you're going to have a company, you have to have a mission statement. Why do I have to have a mission statement? Can't I just do what I do? So you know what I decided about a year ago? The mission statement is this. I am here to leave the car biz better than I found it. That's it. It's that simple. And I do that by coming to rooms like this and engaging people. Sales managers, salespeople, and video are the future of how you're going to do all of this. All of it. People say, well, customers don't want to be engaged by video. They may not want to be engaged in video like FaceTime. That does not mean they don't want a quick 15-second, hey, I'm Sean, and I'm here to do X amount of whatever. I'm here to help with your car. Check it out. Most of these tools have open rates. They have length of video watch. I mean, they've got all the analytics you need to see if it's actually working for you. So take the time, dig in, see what the score is. But stop acting like you don't have everything you need today to pull off some high-tech expense that you actually don't need. Okay? I want you to think about getting back to the basics. You know how many people I sit and talk to a month who can tell me to the absolute dime how many cars are sold and what the trend is for the month? Actually, it's higher than that for solds. 0 on everything else, okay? Good job. 90% of my viewers know exactly where they're at, where they were last year on sold units, and where they're about to end up because they're already fired up about what they think the end is going to be. That's one of my favorite conversations on the 14th of a month. Someone calls me just panicked, dude, they're sweating. Sean, what am I going to do? Up, sales, everything's down. Oh my God, we're going out of business. Yeah, we're going to do 70% of our business traditionally in the United States from the 15th to the 30th. Why does everyone forget that? Because you're stressed out. It's the 15th, you're freaked. You're like, dude, it's the 15th. I haven't got, the board doesn't match. But you ask that same dealer, okay, cool. So I'm a kind of a guy who says, hey, what does it take to get to X, right? That's how I used to set up myself. I want to sell 40, how many cars a day do I have to sell, et cetera, right? What's my pace? These guys can't tell me how many ups they had. They got no idea. You can tell me how many cars you sold, but you can't tell how many people come through the door to give you that opportunity. So do you know if you have a lead problem or a selling problem? Which is it? Well, I don't know. Then why are we talking about new technology? I mean, I hate to be, I don't hate technology, I'm slow to it, is all. Lead management, BDCs, BDCs exist because we gave up on the principle of lead management. That's what the first CRM ever used by a company called Cobalt. That was the name of its CRM. Welcome to the Cobalt Lead Management System. This makes a lot of sense, man. This is great. Manage leads, manage flow, set up timers, etc. Now all of those flows should involve text and phone. They should almost remove or extremely mitigate the use of email. That's what I would tell you. Back to basics also includes phone skills. Do you know all these things you guys have laying out in front of you have done to the phone ups at car dealerships in the last 5 years, at least in the States? They're up astronomically. Phone ups are through the roof because everything is right there. We're ready to do it. We're going to call you. Yet over the time frame, as the leads of phones have done this, guess what our ability to close on the phone has done? This. So we've missed the boat. Now the phone's ringing and we don't have qualified people taking calls. What do? We get a BDC first. We have them deal with the calls at $8 an hour, and we let the guys making 60, 70 grand sit on their ass wait for that guy to come to the door. It's backwards. The phone dominates. It's all you should care about. Because from the phone, there's going to be texting, but mainly there'll be the phone. So think about phone skills. I always joke that when I go to conferences, it's still crazy to me that like 10 speakers will get approved to talk about phone training. But then I really look around the landscape and I think to myself, I know why. I get it. Because we still are pretty bad at it. Pretty bad at it. I already mentioned it earlier, buy-in. Buy-in goes for everything in a dealership. I don't care if it's tech. I don't care if it's process. I don't even care if it's hiring, truly. Everyone should be bought in. And if they're not, we've got to ask why. And then once we find out why, we need to sort of run through it with them, you know? This is why. Okay, is it that way because of A or B? Oh, yeah, it's a drill down. Like I said earlier with data, same thing happens with the human experience. If you have questions for a human, keep asking more questions. That human will either say it or they'll just be like, you know, I'm good. I got nothing more to say. I'm good. So drill down, get buy-in, understand why you don't have it. I put email in because every time I don't, inevitably after one of these sessions, someone will go, you didn't mention email. So, all right, there it is. Back to basics. All right, use your email, whatever, from your phone probably. Transparency is a big buzzword down in the States. You know, everyone wants to be transparent, kind of show you the score here. Good. I mean, the price of a new car in the States has been listed for well over a decade, so I don't really understand where I need to be transparent is the fact that it's already out there and let's do it. If you don't like the number I'm giving you, then that's the number. That has nothing to do with transparency. It has to do with your dislike of my figure. It's not me hiding something in most cases, right? Chat, is that a thing here? Right? You guys go Goobagoo, right? No, yeah, all right, it's Canadian. So chat companies are important, and what we're finding now is that the newer technology of chat allows you as a store, if the chat company is having a chat with you, and all of a sudden you say lease or payments, my phone blows up, and then we're into a text, right? It's a chat on my phone, and I'm now texting directly with you as a sales representative. That to me seems like really good opportunity to just get involved, you know what I mean, and sell a car. Most people are like, those are all junk. Oh, okay. All junk? Is it because they're on your phone, or is it because you don't understand what they're doing, you don't do it yourself? I don't chat. Okay. I gave up being a car consumer a long time ago. So people ask me, what's it like to buy a car? I don't know. I don't buy cars like most people buy cars. I walk into a buddy's office, wife wants that car, that price, I'll see you tomorrow when the car's ready. It doesn't work that way for the majority of people. So I don't comment on being a car consumer because I don't have a clue. I have no idea. I love the car business. You know the funny part about it? I don't actually know shit about it. I don't know how to change oil. I don't even know where to start. All I do is ruin a perfectly good suit getting underneath a car. No idea. You guys, those big Maroni stickers on new cars, that's how I sold new cars. I mean, I walked up because it wasn't about that for me. It was about selling a human whatever that human desired. If it was that car, then let's go up and look at the option packages that the manufacturer already nicely printed for me on the screen. I look like a hero. Look at the safety. Oh my God, 4 stars. Isn't this amazing? And let's go drive the car because that's what it's about. So I use all of the basics to lead back to one thing, and it's the customer experience. So do you have a lead problem or do you have a selling problem? And you've got to get real deep. Don't just think about it first glance like, nope, I got a lead problem. Nope, I got a sales problem. Think about it. Look at the data at hand that you have. I've already covered all the technology as to why you should have all this data with your BDCs and your CRMs and your situations. Now go use them. We always say, my business partner and I in the United States, we are unbelievable at data aggregation. We can put data in, we're putting it out in the sea right now, man. On cargo ships, we got so much of it. We don't know shit to do with it because we're just too worried about trying to find that one thing for this gigantic data set to tell us one story. Let's just take the journey through the data, see what it tells us. Why does it always have to be that it's black and white? Newsflash, nothing about data is black and white. Nothing about advertising is black and white. Advertising is to help you get situated and to understand where you're trying to go. But as far as looking at the results, don't make it black and white. It's very gray. It's very gray because it all depends on who's looking at it through whose lens. Do owners view selling cars the same way sales managers and salespeople do? No, they don't. So now what? Do we come together on that? No, we stay in our silo where the owner goes, I demand this. Sales manager walks up to the salesman, says, I demand this because he demands that. And then we've done nothing. So get back to the basics. Understand if you have a lead or a selling issue. People and process. In the middle, I believe, is success. I think if you look at the most successful dealerships as I opened this show up and stated it to you, that is what I believe happens at all of the best that I see and work with, and even ones that I don't, and I see from afar. I see the ones who are all over, again, on LinkedIn when I say social media, right? So here I am all over LinkedIn, and on there, I see a bunch of people in the last 2 years start doing like testimonial videos, right? Where they're standing with their customer. Yeah, they're super awkward because they're both just like this, you know, and the camera's over there. It's weird, but it's okay. You know why? Because at least they're doing it. You know how much production goes into my podcast by dollar figure? Finance ladies got it. 0. My podcast is shot from an old microphone and a cell phone. We don't edit it. I got nothing to hide. You don't like it? Turn the episode off. I don't really care. I'm not going to take out what I said. I'm not going to change what I said. I've never edited one thing on my podcast ever. Why? Because I don't care. Because to me, it's all about the success of how I'm doing it. I have the people, the process, and the technology. We run everything through Google Drive. It costs no money there. We put it on Google's wonderful video program called YouTube for free, and I move on with my life. How is that hard? Again, if one more person says, Sean, where do you find the time to shoot a 6-minute video where I rant my ass off? Do you have 6 minutes? Like, throw out your phone. Let's go. I don't care. So think about what you do in your stores for process, technology, and people. In my life, that's how all 3 of those come together and create success. Look, our podcast only reaches like 5,000 to 7,000 people a week, okay? It's not like a huge deal. But to me, it's gigantic. It is humongous. 5,000 to 7,000 people. Now, do they listen to the whole? I don't care. Again, Sean, what are your video metrics? Don't know, never look, don't care. Don't do it for that. I do it to get it out there. I do it to educate. I don't just sit on a stump every show on my podcast. I try to educate and bring the industry together. That's the goal of the whole thing. People and process will be the difference. So, let's talk about takeaways. Number 1, utilize the tools you have. And the tools you have are not limited to technology. Just as innovation is not limited to technology. Already have it. All of you already signed off on trade, finance, and payments. You all signed off on it, so I know you have it. Use it. Customer says, hey, I want to get interested in finance. Send them a link. Don't make them come to the dealership. They would have already said to you, I'd like to come to the dealership, fill out a credit app. That's not what he said. She said she wants to fill out a credit app and see where she lands. Do it for her. Because guess what? If you don't, someone's going to. There is someone in this room who's willing to do what I'm talking about. Maybe they can't right now because people above them don't buy into it. But I know it. I know for a fact he's right there. This dude was in the mix of doing that. And was basically stumped out by people above him who were like, nah, this guy's weird. Get him out. Get him out. Well, that's agreed, but he's good weird. You see? Same thing happened in my book of the baseball history. Since 1920, all we've been doing with people who've been questioning baseball is telling them, get lost. Get lost, dude. We know how to swing a bat. If you don't know how to swing a bat, get lost. You're going to have a data guy tell a guy how to swing? The most prolific hitters in baseball today are all impacted by what's called swing trajectory, basically. or launch angle of the ball. Launch angle was born from metrics of nerds who never swung a bat. The best players in the world are now listening to stat heads tell them how to swing a better bat. This year in baseball, as evident by this broken-ass window, home runs are at an all-time high. Never seen more home runs in the history of baseball. Why is it? Launch angle.
Pitchers are hitting home runs now like crazy.
Pitchers hate the new ball. But that's not what we're here for. But this is still, the point is that data can influence great things if you know what you're looking for. That's my biggest question. People and process will still trump any, sorry, I hate using that word. That's my bad. The people and process will always make the difference, okay? I'll always make the difference because, unlike the aforementioned word, we're all about people coming together. We all want everyone, when we're at our dealerships, I want you working with me, working with service. If my salesmen haven't been up to a sales advisor or service advisor in a week, my question is, what are you doing? You don't think there's been one ticket on this dude's desk in a week that he's like, there's no way these people are paying this much money to fix this car? You don't think he's heard it? Go get him. Ask him. My dad taught me when I was a young kid to make sure I knew everything on the very surface level about all the sports that I could. He raised me, man, Sundays watching golf, NASCAR, bored the shit out of me. But when I walked into a dealership, I could talk to a mechanic about NASCAR. I could talk to a salesman about basketball. I could talk to an owner about golf. Do I care about any of those sports? No. But if I can bring the passion, I can identify with you, the next time I need something, guess who remembers my NASCAR joke on Monday morning? Right? So think about how you engage your people. Think about what you put together as your process. Who birthed the process? Is that guy even here anymore with the turnover we have? Are we just following blindly an idea we think, we heard, we thought worked well? I see it every single day. We have about 60 clients, and these dudes run the gamut, okay? I got a guy selling independent cars up in Seattle, Washington, selling 50 cars a month, and I got a guy up here doing 1,000 units on Honda. Guess what? They got the same problems and headaches. It's hilarious. You know what it comes back to? People, process. Hiring. The digital retail story I was going to tell you was that Anderson Honda, okay, so you guys can look them up. Anderson Honda, they have digital retail on their website now. It's back on there because they noticed after about a year there was incremental deals they were losing. But let me tell you something that was interesting when we first pulled the data. Remember what I told you he was, right? Millennial, tech, hell. I mean, ground zero of all of that nonsense, he's there. He did less than 3% at a Honda dealership end-to-end digital retail over 2 years. 3%, people. Are you in the 3% business or are you in the 97% business? I'm just asking. So what did he do? He made the move to just get rid of everything. That actually included me because I was like, this is, it's not that bad. But so we all parted ways. About 11 months later, he called me back. Colossal mistake, my bad. I screwed it up. Take me back, please. Of course, like what do I? I'm a car guy. I'm over this already. I was over it when you hung up on me and called me a nasty name like 2 years ago. Doesn't matter. I want people to work together. So he says to me, I'm going to put it back on. So now all we see is incremental deals, but we have a different approach. It's more gross derived. It's more after the fact, not up front in your face. It's actually turning out to be a better product because we learned how we want to use it. Just like Google Analytics, which by the way, does everyone in this room know that was not invented for car dealers? Is everyone clear on that fact? But we bend it to our will to tell the stories we want it to tell. It's the same thing here. Digital retail can be bent to the will and fear factored into you that tomorrow if you don't, your consumer will buy a car on Amazon. That is false. Now Amazon's definitely getting in the ad game. I won't lie about that. Digital marketers in the room, check it out. They're getting pretty serious about that. But buying a car from Amazon? No, sir. Franchise agreements alone in the United States would kill that idea. But in general, I still don't believe it's what consumers actually want. Now, I did tell you earlier I was not a car consumer. Guess what? I'm not, but I go out of my way to talk to every person I know who is. I spent Saturdays at dealerships I work with and don't even actually sell cars. I was just there consulting. I sit there on Saturdays just to exit and interview sold customers. I thought about doing an entire podcast series on it just to prove my point because I know I'm right. I've been doing this too long, seen it too many times to know people and process will always be better than any piece of tech you can give. So this is the biggest line that everyone kind of has glommed onto since I started saying it. Technology will not fix a broken ass process. It can't, okay? Most times when I walk into a dealership, I say this: your leg is shattered, dude. You're like this, okay? I'm gonna get you to this, and then you're gonna have to get yourself to here. Because if you and I don't do this together with your broken ass process and you worried about all the leads you gotta work that you can't work, and when I tell you you have too many leads and you say, yeah, great, how can I get more? You're gonna keep that busted ass ankle. You're not gonna be able to stand up. Got to fix things from the ground up. First thing I do when I meet a new client, guess what? I tear apart their budget. I tear off at least 10 grand. Why? Because I'm going to prove to you you don't need it. Well, if you're going to prove that to me, I don't need any of it. No, that's not what I said. Don't be an extremist. What I said was you don't need that bulk, right? I say 10 grand. I mean more the 5 to 10% range of someone's budget. You can almost immediately chop off in today's world, especially in the gluttonous United States. It's bad there. Okay? All right, so I open it up to Q&A, and you're free to not ask anything. I get it. We're in a group environment. You may not want to do it. I will be here afterwards, so that's fun. Any questions? Man, every time, JP. Oh, yes. Question.
With technology being such a predominant way of living life, doing business today, how do you educate your dealers to develop their salespeople in a world that's not reliant on them?
You have to tie it into what they're already used to, right? So as I told you with the CRM, it was something that came along that no one wanted to actually use. But now if they do use it, and they use it well, they see extreme upside. So here's what I would say, right? I would come in, what's the 30 seconds of your product? Yeah.
Oh, employment or the line.
See, it's all right. Don't worry.
Sales skills, personality profiling.
So you're helping with hiring? Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. So you're using technology in the hiring process.
Yes.
You want to help them understand.
Yes.
I would lead in with what you and I just talked about, which is the waste of turnover. Find out the waste of turnover metric for your area. Find out what it costs dealerships to lose people that they're too lazy to deal with or didn't identify talent in the beginning. My dealer up in Seattle, Washington, he calls me all the time, Sean, I am a terrible judge of character, ... I'm about to hire a new BDC manager. And it's every time. And we have the conversation every time. We say the same thing because we haven't gotten ourselves out of the cycle. And the cycle that exists for dealerships is same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. They don't get out of it. But they can if you come to them. You've got 20 plus years of history. I heard you say that. You've got to go back to when you were doing it and talk about the first piece of tech that hit you that you didn't know how to, I don't want to do this. I don't want to use that. For me, it's CRMs. That's how I relate everything back to these guys. My Rolodex is always helpful too. When I make a Rolodex joke, people are like, oh, I got that. You know, that's what you've got to find. I don't think it's difficult to do that part of it. I think where they will suffer is in trying to do that down the hill to the salespeople. But if it doesn't really matter. Your particular product really doesn't matter. You are really high level, so you just got to get buy-in from people who, frankly, should already be bought in. If you're going to help them hire people, but see, what they hear when you say personality test, it's like, oh gosh, personality test. Are you serious? Like that's really going to help me find somebody? I know I've been in rooms where that's happened, where people are like, oh, what millennial invented this test? Like, who cares? Stop with the millennial shit. Like I say it myself. Doesn't matter, man. Young people, innovation, it's all the same. Let's get on board. That for you, you just got to remember what it was like for you when you were trying to sell something or when you were a salesperson and how you'd say, look, wouldn't you be looking for someone who thinks like this? We can identify that with our profiles. That's how you tie it back together.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Anyone have questions?
So that Honda dealership you worked with,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious because you mentioned at the very beginning of the Foursquare. So just from what I've heard, a couple of the dealerships who have implemented, digital retailing, Roadster, and Motor Commerce, will take that and they'll kind of push the Foursquare to the side and they'll have the salespeople work through that in the dealership. Is that what you saw happen at that Honda dealership?
That's what we're doing now. What we're doing now is, but we're not, you're letting it come up. Whereas before you put it on every VDP, you put banners all over the site. You were telling people, buy online, buy online, buy online. We were getting killed in gross. Getting killed. F&I manager, guess what? Anyone know how much he liked that product? Any F&I guys in here? Yeah, hated, right? Hated. Done with it. So that's really what it's about. So what they found was when they were in it, I mean, that thing's like a desking tool, Roadster, at some points, right? And so when you're in the tool, you're doing that deal. If the salespeople were taking that at their desk, right? I believe in, we've talked about this, I believe in a singular contact point at a dealership. I got to do this for like 6 months before my owner thought I was batty. It just ended it. But you came in, I met you, you do the whole deal. Do the whole deal. They were actually communicating via phone because that's how we had the desk set up. The guy never left the desk. All the numbers had the Foursquare, wrote it out like the boss said because the boss was working the deal. CSI went through the roof, gross went through the roof. Then we were taking it a step further to F&I, and we said, wait a second, you do this, why don't you do it all? Then they found, wow, making not as great at F&I grows because it's really hard to be really awesome at F&I and the desk. I find people who can do that end up being GMs. They don't stay in one spot. So the dealership, when you get into kind of the flow of how it works, I think you find that digital retail, if put in the position of, well, of course we offer that, as opposed to, look what we have. I think the difference is a lot easier to work through. So I'm not surprised people you see doing that having success because I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's funny the way that it was pitched to us is almost like you'll have more success once you get buy-in at the dealership level, not so much even the BDC or the website browsing session. Once everybody's on the same process, learning about it.
It's all about the dealership people because Roadster does have sort of a concierge feature, where if a problem does arise, you, the sales manager, can be the concierge. The problem is the people we put in charge of the concierge really don't want to do this. And it's not that they're trying to kill a car deal, but they're certainly not going on their way to make it. So yeah, it shouldn't be, to me it should be pitched as a supplement to the, let's just call it, let's just be fair, not even fair, let's be ridiculous. Let's say it's 10%, when I have any data that proves that over 5, but let's just say it's 10. The other 90 still wants to do business the same way. So don't push the other 90 into that process. They may not want to do it. Right. So make it a supplement, don't make it the way of life. And I don't even think you're 5 years away from making it a way of life. I really don't. I really don't. Thank you.
Sean, quick question.
Yeah.
From your experience, why are dealers so apprehensive on linking these two processes? You got this online digital process, you have this in dealership process, and they just they can't realize that they've actually linked together.
Yeah. So the reason for that is it goes back to what I referred to earlier with fax leads. So before, when we would get the fax leads, me and my other internet pro, we sat in the smallest office in the dealership back in the corner where no one wanted us, and we were the internet guys. We were getting different deals from the desk, so we could compete with people outside of our AOR. We were getting different trade values to steal trades from places we weren't going to go to. But guys, in 2003, I started delivering cars to their homes. Yeah. I've been doing digital retail since 2003 because it came together. Customers want it, Sean, they don't want to come to the dealership. They live in the mountains of Colorado. Okay?
Go there.
Well, we're not going to make that deal. Why aren't we? He's willing to pay our price. You're willing to make his trade. What are we doing? So it's embedded fear that if I tie those two together, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't work. But today I know that it does work. The problem with that is the definition of working is so far gone.
Well, what I see a lot of is the sales consultants on the floor don't understand how to speed up or slow down the process depending on what the customer's done online. So customers have already got themselves to certain parts, and they're too almost scared to say, hey, you know what, let's not do a big presentation, let's go right to a test drive, because you already know all this stuff.
What,
right?
and what I don't understand, I've asked 100 salespeople I met over the last couple of years that exact question. Why are you making this more difficult on you? If I had digital retail, full-blown CRM that was on my phone, and a BDC, I'd be selling 60 cars a month, sitting on my ass, making 300 grand, working by appointment only. I didn't have that when I had a chance. It wasn't for me. Today's salesperson is the laziest they've ever been, and they have the most opportunity to run their own business. Salespeople, I did a whole presentation on how you as a salesperson already own your own business and you have no headaches, no expense, and you can do whatever you want. The problem with what I just said and what you just said is the people between that and the owner, which are the desk. And that's only because the owner or GM puts the pressure down on the desk, so the desk has no other route to go than down to you. And the desk is telling you, that digital retail customer comes in, you better try to repencil them. So we ain't doing that deal. What are you talking about? I got a car washed up, I got paperwork printed, but we're doing this deal, right? I had to get in a lot of arguments as an internet director with a lot of sales managers that I basically was like, cool, understand. Go to the owner, tell him you don't want to sell 10 additional units outside your AOR this month. Guess what he's going to say? You let him do whatever he wants. Our gross wasn't that bad. We gave F&I a fair crack. We set him up. We put him on the phone. We did what we could. But now the F&I products that are built in, guess what? In Roadster, you can remove it. So you can tell the customer, sorry, that part is, it's sensitive. It has to be done in the dealership. There's ways around it. But then what are they doing? If they're not going to finance their own deal, then why are they in this portal? Why aren't they just on my phone or in my dealership or whatever the case is? So it goes back to a long storied history of, first of all, siloing dealerships, and second of all, just being afraid of change. It's the biggest problem.
Now they haven't really been forced to change either, right?
No, they're not being forced to change because the dealer still makes money.
Yeah.
So not as much, right? So the big recession, was 09, right? 09, 08. When that happened, you saw processes really start to tighten up. But in typical fat U.S. gluttonous history, we're like, cool, everything's good, let's get back to the old ways. And now we're kind of back where we were with regards to that.
Sean, what I find is like the digital retail online journey and then the sales process will come and start. That's where there's a huge disconnect, right? Like the sales process is still at the 80s base.
Yeah.
So like one thing we did is like I blew up the needs analysis. That was stupid.
Agreed.
Because 100%, like you said, 100% of the customers are going online. Drop the dumb stats. Not 92. It's 100.
Correct.
Okay, we're not going to talk about 84-year-old Mrs. Jones.
No, she's on Facebook, bro.
Right. So and it's like they've already done the needs analysis, right?
Yeah.
So part of what you do, like when you go into a dealership, do you like redefine their whole sales process?
You know what? We actually, when we started CarBiz, I thought I was going to be the next Grant Cardone, right? That's what I built this thing. I'm like, dude, we're going to hire, we're going to be great. I'm going to get jets. I'm going to affirm. I'm going to go to the Bahamas. It's going to be great. Turns out that's a lot of work. I have no interest in doing it. I'm just not a 10Xer at all. I'm like 1Xer because my dad taught me to be as efficient with my time as possible. So work smarter, not harder. So my goal was to be as the big time Grant Cardone. When we started the company, my business partner looks at me. He's like, "You realize this is not scalable, right?" I'm like, "You realize you're out of your mind? I'm going to show you this and that. I got the capital, blah blah." He's right. It's all right. It's just like it came around. So we were doing a big client work up in Madison, Wisconsin. So he and I were in hotel rooms together 3-4 days a week. So I mean, like brothers, a lot of arguing, a lot of this, that. Couple cocktails, solve the world, wake up, forget how you solved it. But when we were there and he said it to me, we were like, okay, so I'm not going to be Grant Cardone. Like, oh man. Turns out I was never going to be because I don't have that level of, I guess, drive. I don't know. I guess it's fair to say the drive. I have a drive to run my business my way and do my things my way. That's why I don't work for a corporation. I worked for a corporation for 18 months. It was the worst 18 months outside of the 10 months I spent in the finance office of my life. Just was. Too many meetings about meetings about meetings. I got a podcast coming out in probably 2 weeks about meetings about meetings. I hate meetings. I think if you can't get it done in 10 minutes, get out. The biggest guys, Bezos, Musk, they don't believe in meetings. They believe in you say it, I say it, and I get out and go back to work. That's kind of how we approach it. So I said, hey, we're not going to be sales trainers. What the hell are we going to be? How are we going to do this? We put our heads together. We decided all of the vendors in the world, all the money being spent, who's looking at these people? Well, the people who were doing it were the people who were selling the marketing. So it was like marketing company A is like, yes, of course we'll tell you if your digital spend is good. In 12 months, did they ever come in and say that shit was bad? No? Okay, they're not going to, right? Car Gurus, you have them here, right? Yeah. Car Gurus? Funniest shit ever. They are going to have their own conference here in Boston, Massachusetts coming up. Do you think they're going to tell you to sign up for AutoTrader? Do you think they're going to tell you to find the cars.com rep in your area, see if he likes your product? No, they're going to come and teach you how to use Car Gurus better. It's just another vendor who wants to sell to you. So we started to realize that all vendors want to be sales process, want to be this, want to be that. I quickly realized that in order to truly affect sales process, you have to affect culture. Guess what? See point A. I have no interest in doing that. I just don't. It's too much time and effort, and it doesn't pay on the hourly side long term. So I need to find out a bigger, better way. So we basically just completely got rid of sales, because I love that part. I love sitting in dealerships taking ups. At one training I did, a sales manager challenged me. He said, oh, well, those who can't do, teach. I said, get up off your ass, next 2 ups, yours and mine, let's go. What's this now? You're here till 9 o'clock. Get off your ass, we're gonna go take ups, let's go. Never happened. Because I'm not gonna stand back and let people tell me how the culture is gonna be run when I'm trying to affect it. So quickly I was like, dude, I'm over this culture thing. Like, I'm just not gonna try and train people. I'm gonna look at their data and I'm gonna train them what to see with their eye and their own data. So we decided, all vendors, all the time, we were gonna create the first ever middleman who wasn't taking money from the vendors he was telling you to use, which exists in America. Some of you may know the name, I'm not here to say it, but this program, right, $3,000 a month for an ROI bot that was gonna take all of your information and send you out a report. That's it? For $3,000 a month? Oh, well, you get 1 hour of time with the CEO if you bump it up to 4. Okay, boys, we got ourselves a market. Let's crush this thing. Let's do it. So we don't use technology for any of it. All the people that work for us pull data directly from all of the databases. And we put it into high technology. I mean the super highest of technology, Excel spreadsheets. And we created what we believe to be the best part about data. It's called data stacking. So when you look at 3 years worth of online data stacked on top of each other by month across years, buddy, if you're not doing it yet, you need to. You can identify things at 30,000 feet that you would have to take months to drill down on because most of your providers are set up in 12-month increments. They don't want you remembering 12 months ago because they want to charge you more based on what they feel has happened to your market. But if you can go into your data, car gurus, I'm talking to you, you come in, you ask for more prices, you say, oh, we're gonna charge you more, you're already under the market cap. Really? Did you know over the last 18 months your leads have dropped by 10%, your VDPs by 15, your cost per acquisition is up $15 fucking dollars? Now what? That is not what our data says. I don't really give a shit. Get out of my store. You're fired. So we're all about, most vendors hate my guts. That's cool. I'm not here for you. I'm not here. Did I say I was trying to make the vendor world better than when I found it? No. Which is happening by product anyways, because you can't hide. We sit in all the presentations. I see all the newest tech. I have tech fatigue. Let's call it that. It's not a hate, it's a fatigue because I sit through it every single day. And all I hear is, this here, that's going to sell you 5 more cars. If that was true, the 80 assholes behind you would have sold me 400. I wouldn't even let you sit here. Turns out none of you are right because your technology standing by itself won't get shit done. Google search bar. Would it be a thing if you didn't actually put anything into it? No. It'd be ass fucking Jeeves. But it's not. It's Google. So think about how people want to be talked with and talk with them that way. And we found that through the vendor angle, we could identify with dealers through their pocket. And we could say to them, you spend 100, watch me get this done for 70. And then over 2 years, watch me get it done for 50. And my dad would always say to me, you need to take a percentage of the bottom line. You're selling yourself short, blah, 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 charging by month. Wrong-o. You don't understand my business model, Dad. I don't want to do that continuously. I want to get people to a spot. I'm not here to advocate don't spend money. I'm here to advocate spending money far more wisely than most do it today. Stop trusting your vendors. Stop. I don't care. Sean, they're good friends. That's even worse. You know the saying in the car business down in Chicago? If you can't make money off friends and family, who the hell can we make it off of? Does that sound bad? It is. Why is that? Because we have the absolute best rapport with our family. So they're going to come in, Sean, what's the deal? The deal is this, my friend. Is it good? Love that question. You guys ever get asked that? Is this a good deal? What's anyone's reply? Is this a good deal? Hell yeah.
Of course.
Every time for me.
My mom's like, can I see the numbers?
Yeah. It's a good deal. I always say to people, is it a good deal? How do you feel? I feel good. There we go.
My mother looks.
That's what makes it a good deal. All right, I'm out of here. You're kicking me off stage. I see it. Good job. They ask questions though. What's this mean?
No.
No?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
Let's give it up again.
Yeah.
Come on, Wisconsin.
But more importantly, honestly, give it up for yourselves because without dealers and without the vendors in it, my job and the rest of our jobs don't exist. So here's the car dealers. Thanks,